Guys, there are still 17 brawlers in the game that do not have Hypercharge. So in today's video, I'm going to be predicting and ranking all the upcoming Hypercharges from the worst Hypercharges to the best new Hypercharges that will be coming in the future update. Let's start off with the 4 worst Hypercharges that are most likely coming. And that is Doug's Hypercharge, Chuck's Hypercharge, Pam, and Meeple's Hypercharge. Now, the problem with these Hypercharges is, well, multiple problems. First, Doug's Hypercharge is not going to be very good because guess what? Doug is already having a hard time getting his super whenever he's matched up against the composition that has more range than him. He has one of the shortest ranges in the game, and that makes it really hard for Doug to get his super. So if you're having a hard time getting your super, guess what? You're also going to have a hard time getting your Hypercharge, right? So that's going to be the issue with why Doug's Hypercharge is going to be the worst. Now, I am predicting Doug to get a rework though, and he's probably gonna be really OP, maybe even broken territory after his rework, and then with his Hypercharge he might be like really OP. Okay, and the reason I believe that he's gonna get a rework is because it's happened before a million times before. If you guys recall, Frank was F tier, he was really bad, and then he got a rework and became the best brawler in the game. And then if you guys recall, Hank got a rework as well. His super can now heal himself, moved from F tier to S tier immediately when he got a new Hypercharge, of course. So all these brawlers, as you can see, that are in F tier eventually move up to S tier, and that's what's gonna happen to Doug most likely. Okay, so even though I have him placed here in the D tier, I'm also expecting him to move to S tier after his rework. Okay, and then Chuck is so OP on heist, but not so good pretty much everywhere else, right? Just because of that ability to dive straight vertically onto the heist safe and deal immense damage. Now, the thing about his Hypercharge is he's probably gonna get it from dealing damage. He's not gonna passively charge it freely because that's just gonna be too OP. So Supercell most likely gonna give him the same treatment they gave with a brawler like Sam or Stu that charge their supers too fast. And then we got Pam. Now, Pam's Hypercharge most likely an overshield. She's probably gonna get an overshield similar to Poco's Hypercharge, but it's not gonna make her any better. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna make her more exciting. So unfortunately, she's still gonna suffer unless if they give her a really interesting Hypercharge that's really gonna spice things up. Because right now the problem with Pam is her main attack. That unload speed is just too long. It takes too long to deal damage. Minimum damage from long range as well. It doesn't really make her a very exciting or good brawler in the game. So a Hypercharge isn't really going to make her much better, because even with the damage boost and speed boost, Pam's not going to be very good because of that long unload time of the attack, right? Same thing with Meeple. Meeple is a brawler that's really going to suffer with Hypercharge because similar to other long range single target brawlers, guys, single target brawlers, we're talking about Piper, Bell, B, Angelo. These brawlers take so long to get their Hypercharges, right? And that's because they're single target brawlers. They need so many hits to get their Hypercharge finally. And once they do, most of the time you use their Hypercharge for the stat boost, right? Like when you get Piper's Hypercharge, you mainly want to use it for the stat boost, the damage boost that you get. Same with like Angelo, same with like B, right? So that's gonna be the problem with Meeple. It's gonna be even bigger problem with Meeple because of his unload speed. His reload speed is so slow, okay? So he's not gonna be very good with his Hypercharge, unfortunately. Next, moving on to the B tier Hypercharges. These are, I have at the 3 stars. We've got Shade, Mo. Now, these two brawlers are gonna be pretty good with their Hypercharge. Mo with his Hypercharge ability to go underground, and then of course with the added shield bonus, damage bonus, with the knockback from his super, is gonna make his Hypercharge really strong. Now, the reason I have it at B tier is simple. Even though he has a very OP super, Mo also has a big problem. His super just takes so long to charge. It's one of the slowest charging supers in the game, and so that's how Supercell had to nerf it because of how OP it was, right? Now, because it takes so long to get his super, guess what? It's gonna take even longer to get a Hypercharge with Mo. So most games, you're probably just gonna get 1 Hypercharge, maybe 2 Hypercharges if the other team has a lot of short range brawlers and tanks, then yeah, but Mo doesn't really do very well against tank matchups either way when he gets his super, right? So his Hypercharge is gonna be in the mid zone here in the B tier. Now, same thing with Shade. Shade is gonna be a nightmare with his Hypercharge in certain maps and modes, like for example Layer Cake, Pinball Dreams, Parallel Plays. These maps Shade is gonna be really good in, okay? But that's the problem though. It's very limited maps that he's gonna really be strong in, because maps that are even a little open, he's gonna struggle in those matchups. So he's gonna have a hard time dominating there with his hypercharge. But like I said, these limited maps, he's gonna be so strong with his hypercharge. Next, let's move on to the A tier hypercharges. These are the hypercharges that I believe are gonna be very strong when they get these brawlers their hypercharges. We got Bonnie, Finks, Kit, Jaeyoung, RT, and Larry and Laurie hypercharges. So let me explain why these hypercharges are gonna be very good, but probably not broken, okay? So for example, Larry and Laurie, it's gonna take a while to get that hypercharge, and they're probably gonna get the same treatment Lola got with her hypercharge ego, right? With her hypercharge when she gets her super, that hypercharged ego is not as OP as you would imagine, right? So same thing with Larry and Laurie. Laurie's probably not gonna get really boosted up and be super OP, because right now Laurie doesn't really deal as much damage anymore after all those nerfs they did to Larry and Laurie, right? When Larry and Laurie were first released, they were so beyond broken, but now they pale in comparison to that. Next, we've got RT. RT's a brawler that's super versatile. Got the range, the health, the ability to counter tanks and assassins so easily. Now imagine a hypercharge that speeds him up in his head form, right? When he transforms with his super, that head charging at you with speed and power. That's gonna be hard to deal with. The good thing though is that's gonna probably keep RT from being broken is his long charge time, because he gets his super with the tap of a gadget, right? But you're not gonna get that hypercharge with a tap of a gadget, all right? So you're gonna need to work for it. That's gonna take a while to get that hypercharge. Now next with Jaeyoung. Jaeyoung is so unique because his super doesn't charge from dealing damage. He passively gets it for free, but you're not gonna get his hypercharge for free, okay? Because that's gonna be so broken. Imagine Jaeyoung, you're just waiting, passively charging your hypercharge like an Edgar, and you constantly spam it. That's gonna be so broken if that's the case, but I don't think that's gonna happen with Jaeyoung. He's probably gonna get the same treatment other fast charging supers get, like Stu and Sam, of course, who can just infinitely change the super. But no, but with this hypercharge, Jaeyoung is still gonna be really strong. He's gonna give even more heal, because when he's shooting at a teammate, that's gonna be more heal right there, boosted heal from the damage, because it's kind of similar to like a Byron. Next, we got Kit. Now Kit's hypercharge is gonna be really strong because he's gonna passively charge it freely, just like how you would charge Edgar's hypercharge or Daryl's hypercharge because of their trait, right? So this is gonna make Kit even more annoying and frustrating to deal with, especially in like solo game or like showdown. But in 3v3, he's gonna be even stronger as a support. He's gonna deal more damage when he's on top of a teammate and throwing yarn balls at enemies for immense damage. He's gonna be very good brawler there. Next, Finks. Now Finks is competitively S tier right now. That's mainly to do with his gadget that he can constantly abuse, spam, and reload his ammo and then deal a lot of damage. Finks does a lot of damage, guys, by the way, with his main attack. So with the hypercharge, he's gonna be even stronger. He's gonna shred through tanks. However, the special effect is gonna be interesting because I don't know if he's gonna get any better. The special effect for Finks is already really good, right? It's uncounterable, right? If you're a long range brawler, like you're like a Bee or Piper trying to shoot at a Finks who dropped his super, well, he can just easily dodge that attack, right? So, man, the special effect from his hypercharge is gonna be interesting. Maybe it's just gonna be a bigger radius of effect, maybe. That's what I'm expecting. But overall, Finks is gonna be very good with his hypercharge, not in the broken territory. Next with Bonnie. Now, Bonnie's hypercharge is gonna be really strong, guys. Bonnie's struggling in the meta, but after she gets her hypercharge, mark my words, she's gonna be A tier, possibly even S tier, okay? Bonnie can definitely become S tier with the hypercharge, and this is because it only takes 3 hits with her supercharge gear to get her super, okay? And that supercharge gear also makes it easier, faster to charge your hypercharge. So imagine a Bonnie launching herself on you with increased damage, increased speed, and shield. That's enough to make her really strong in any case scenario. Next, let's talk about the 2 S tier hypercharges that are gonna be coming, and that's gonna be Byron and Juju. These 2 hypercharges are gonna be so strong, okay? Juju, you guys have seen what her wasabi powered turret can do, right? That turret, Griff, is so strong. Now imagine it being in hypercharged form. That's gonna put Juju, who's already an S tier brawler, into top S tier. It's gonna quickly propel her to a top 5 brawler in the game pretty easily, okay? That's just so crazy to think about. Next, you got Byron. Byron is a brawler who's currently in A tier, but with the hypercharge, he's gonna move up to a top brawler in the game pretty easily, because guess what? He charges his super fast, right? Only takes like 3 hits on the enemy to get that super. Now imagine how fast he's gonna get his hypercharge. Now imagine the speedy Byron with a powerful hypercharge super that he can throw over walls. It just becomes uncounterable. He can heal. So imagine if you're a tank or assassin, which are normally a good counter to Byron, but with his hypercharge, drop that, right? More damage and heal for himself It's gonna be so hard to counter Byron when he gets hypercharged. Now, moving on to the 3 strongest hypercharges that are gonna be coming. The SS top tier 6 stars hypercharges, and that's gonna be Draco, Ollie, and Lumi, okay? These are easily gonna be so broken, similar to how Kenji is broken with his hypercharge, similar to how Hank was broken with his hypercharge. Well, Draco and Ollie are most likely gonna be very broken, and that's because of tank trade, okay? They can just take damage and charge their super very fast. On top of that, they already charge their super very fast because it only takes a few hits to get it. Draco's gonna be unbelievably OP with his hypercharge because he has the perfect kit that makes hypercharges really good. His ability to go in his dragon form, get increased speed. Well, guess what? Add in a hypercharge on top of that he already charges super fast. On top of his shredding star power that heals himself, even more aggression, even more speed, even more shield and damage from his hypercharge. On top of that, it's not even over. Last stand gadget for 2 seconds, even more immortality. You can't even kill him in his hypercharge form. He can chain his super hypercharge in his form, and that's gonna be really, really hard to deal with pretty much any time against a Draco. And a lot of that has to do with his tank trait, allowing him to get his hypercharge fast. Same with Ollie. He can taunt you with his tank trait, take damage, charge his hypercharge freely from it. And it's gonna be super hard to deal with because he has one of the strongest supers in the game. The ability to taunt you, right? Disable you and your teammates. Imagine that in hypercharge form. So deadly. Lumi's already broken right now, and she's probably gonna get another nerf in the next balance changes, but she still doesn't even have a hypercharge. Now imagine her with the hypercharge, the ability to stun you with her super, even more damage from her attacks. She's gonna be very broken. So there you guys have it, my predictions of the 17 upcoming hypercharges in the game, the full tier list right here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and my assessment of all the upcoming hypercharges. Thank you so much for watching.